Okay, let's try this again. This is legit my third time trying to record this video, and I am like fed up. So, hopefully this time it works. Okay, donc on va apprendre l'alphabet. So we're learning the alphabet, the French alphabet. I gotta charge my computer too. Gosh. Okay, l'alphabet. So, something to note about l'alphabet is that it's important to mimic the way these words are being pronounced because your tongue is a muscle. And so when we speak a certain language, our tongue automatically knows where it has to move. For example, when we say F, our like tongue is kind of in the back, right? If we say the little letter F, the tongue, you feel it in the back. If I say teeth, right? The tongue comes forward, teeth. And that's in English. So when we learn a different language, our tongue has to move in different ways. And if you've never practiced it before, your tongue is going to be doing all kinds of weird things until it gets used, right? Kind of like if you're doing sit-ups, you're going to struggle with like the first like 3 until you're like your muscles in your abdomen are like rocking and ready to go for like the next 10. Okay, so try to say the alphabet as best as you can. It might seem silly. I know. It might seem silly you practicing at home by yourself. Your mom's giving you a weird look, but do it. Okay? So, one of the reasons I have the camera is so that you can see my mouth, which is weird, right? Everything's weird on the internet and with this like remote learning, but here we go. L'alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, E. Like you're getting punched. Right? F, G. So this is where it trips up English speakers because we think it's G, but it's actually the letter J, right? So it might take you a moment to get it. You might get it like this. Me, I've been taking French for 11, 12 years, and I still have to like stop and think about it. It's one of my weaknesses, okay? So, H, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O. Your tongue moves to the top of your roof. It's not just O where it's kind of down. O, it's O. O. Tongue at the top. O. P. Q. Like you're gonna give someone a kiss. Q. Q. Like that monkey. Q. R. S. T. U. Again, but without the Q. U. V. W. X. Like you see in a rat. X. Y. Notice the mouth. Y. Z. I'm gonna go back to Y. Clear your throat. Kind of like you're gonna like hawk a loogie, right? Exactly like that. Z. Okay, we're gonna work backwards now. Z. Y. X. W. V. U. U. T. S. R. Q. P. O. Tongue at the top. O. N. M. L. K. J. J. I. H. J. F. E. Like you're getting punched. D. C. B. A. Alright, from the top. A. B. C. D. E. F. G. H. I. J. K. L. M. N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Alright, so next week I'm going to ask you to record yourself introducing yourself and spelling out your name. So if you've been chilling in our classes and not participating, not repeating, not studying on your own, not really watching the videos, it is crunch time because I'm going to ask you to pronounce things, right? So, for example, spelling your name, normal, right? Nathalie. N-A-T-H-A-L-I-E. Nathalie. Virginie. V-I-R-G-I-N-I-E. Adam. Pretty easy. A-D-A-M. Caleb. C-A-L-E-B. So I'm going to ask you, record yourself spelling your name to a friend. And if your name is Giovanni, you'll have to say G-I-O-V-A-N-N-E. Whatever. All right? So start off by knowing how to spell your name, right? And practice the alphabet. I'm going to link in a rap on the next PowerPoint slide so that you could listen to that rap. I learned that rap and it's kind of like cringy, but it is a good rap and it's fast too, so you learn them like that. Okay, so I am going to spell out 4 names and you are going to write them down on a piece of paper in your notebook, because you should have a notebook. So you'll write them down, and then at the end of this PowerPoint, there's going to be a Google form that you have to fill out based on like what you read. Obviously, it is open, like note, open book, whatever. And you're going to submit these 4 names, and then I'm going to grade it. Okay? So, bonne chance, good luck. Numéro 1. C-E-S-A-R. Again. C-E-S-A-R. 2. Number 2. D-A-J-A-H. Again. D-A-J-A-H. 3. Number 3. N-A-T-H-A-N. Again. N-A-T-H-A-N. 4. Number 4. A name. Oh. A-N-J-E-L-A. Again. A-N-J-E-L-A. Practice naming your, spelling your name with the French alphabet. Okay, so les accents. So at this point, you've probably noticed that words in French have accents, which I think is amazing because sometimes we need accents in English, right? I don't know if you're trying to say, what's one of those words? Read or read? I read a book yesterday. I read a book right now. Or I will read a book right now, right? How do you know when to pronounce it read? How do you know when to pronounce it read? So, accents in French help us with that. So, we have E, accent aigu, bébé. That's the example, bébé. You can hear that it's not E anymore, right? It's not like in your stomach. It's coming out of your mouth and you're kind of smiling when you say it. Bébé, bébé, right? C'est un bébé. And your mouth kind of, I don't know, it gets rigid. Bébé. So accent aigu, u, because you hear that u, I make associations. So when I hear that u, I know that the e is gonna go up. So accent aigu, up. Accent grave. So grave, you already can hear that the A is going down. Grave. And you could also look at it in English and say grave, and you put bodies in a grave down on the ground. So you know that the accent is going down. Grave. Like mère, which is mom. Père, which is dad. And brother is frère. We've got tréma, Raphaël. To be honest, I'm not gonna lie. I memorized the words that have the tréma because my teacher didn't do such a good job explaining tréma. And here we go, right? How the tables have turned, but I will figure it out for you because I have a grammar book and I will tell you exactly when to use tréma. But it's not as common. It's usually for foreign words or specific words, like names or holidays. And it's always on the E. We have O. O, remember your tongue is at the top. O, accent circonflexe. And it's always going to be on an O, and it's always a little chapeau, a little hat on top of the O. And accent circonflexe, it basically emphasizes the O. Because in French, we don't pronounce the H. It's not like Halloween, hotel, hamburger, right? We don't hear that H. We just hear that vowel, and vowel is A-E-I-O-U. Whenever you see it next to an H, similar to Spanish, we only say the hôtel, hôtel, hôtel. So regularly the O would be O, but this one's just saying that it's a little bit higher, hôtel, right? So just higher, hôtel. Not much of a difference. Okay, now we have the cédille, which is my favorite accent, if that's not weird at all. But the cédille is like a little 5 or an S underneath the C. And basically what that does, it tells us how to pronounce the C. We already know that when we spell out the letter C, it's say, and so it already makes that S sound, right? When you see a C next to an E, like in cédille right here, cédille, or when you see it next to an I, it automatically has that sound S, cédille. I'm thinking of another one. Okay, we'll just stick to cédille right now because my brain is dead. So, cédille, but when we get to français, if we didn't have that little cédille at the bottom, it would say franquet. But that's too harsh for the French language. It's like very like k. It's not a sound that they're used to making. So, in order to make it smooth and they add the little cédille to make it français, right? The French don't like saying words with ka or ko, kako, so they put s to make it a little bit like easier, which does not make sense because they have sounds like and right? It's not like that pleasant, but I don't know. It's the way they like their words to sound. So that has been l'alphabet et les accents.